Okay guys, so I'm going to go ahead and start cutting the wood for my brother. I kind of looked around, like in between stumps and trees and stuff, to see if there was a spot to stack, a spot that was 8 feet apart to stack the wood between. But right here from the middle of this post to the middle of that post is 4 feet exactly. And then out here to the very edge of this rock is exactly 96 inches, 8 foot. So this little square right here, 4 foot tall, is the wood that I'm going to cut for my brother-in-law. It's a cord. And in case anybody doesn't know, which I'm sure all of my subscribers probably do know, a cord is 4 foot by 4 foot by 8 foot. So 4 foot wide, 4 foot tall, and 8 foot long, which is usually 3 rows of 8 feet. That's usually 4 feet, you know, three rows. So that's not a whole lot of wood. I mean, you can fit more wood than what you think in just that little area to make a cord. But, you know, it's really not that bad, so. And it'll last a long time, depending on your usage. So what I'm going to do is, I've got all these little logs laid over here. And they're all white oak. And then I've got these logs over here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start just by cutting the wood that I've already got down here. That does 2 things. Number one, it's less work, you know, to cut the wood right here and then stack it right there, obviously. And number 2, it cleans up my area here. I need to clean all this crap up anyway, so I might as well kill 2 birds with 1 stone. And I'm sure you guys can see the new saw over there, and I know I'm going to catch all kinds of crap over this, but you guys have to understand. Well, first let's see what it is. It's an MS-250. It's 46 cc's with an 18-inch bar. Now I determined that's about all I need. And the power to weight ratio is really what I was looking at. It's light. I think it's like 10.8 pounds. Now, before I get a whole bunch of comments from people, you know, saying this is like a wussy saw or whatever, I had a 92 cc MS-660, okay? I don't have to prove anything to anyone. That darn saw, while you might be able to have bragging rights because, oh, you know, my chainsaw has a dirt bike engine on it, like, oh, I'm a big man. But there comes a point when you're just out here in the woods by yourself and you're sweating your butt off and you can't hardly stand to work more than 10 minutes at a time because your saw weighs 24 pounds. You know, there comes a time when function over form kicks in. And an 18-inch bar is plenty for what I need, so. You know, my dad used to have a little home light with like a 16-inch bar on it. And I've seen him drop, you know, big, huge, you know, 3 foot thick trees like that. You know, you just have to notch out of it and then cut a big enough notch for your actual whole saw to fit in, and then you just keep cutting through until it falls. I mean, yeah, it's a lot easier to take a 34-inch bar or whatever and just go clean through it, but I mean, you know, it comes at a cost. That saw was heavy. So I sold that saw, okay, and I made enough money off of it to buy this MS-250 with a 4-year warranty, and then, you know, some bar and chain oil and stuff. So I had enough money to buy this, brand new with a 4-year warranty, and I've got enough to buy a deer rifle. So I'll take you guys deer hunting with me this year. Last year, when I went deer hunting, I hadn't started the channel yet. Last year I used a Remington 770 chambered in 270. And it was pretty good. The only problem was I could not find the ammo anywhere. You know, I mean, Walmart carried it, but they were always out of it. Everywhere I went was always out of it. So I got tired of that stuff. So after deer season last year, I sold that rifle for $20 less than what I paid for it brand new. So I basically got my money back out of it. And then this year, as soon as apparently my background check clears, I went up to Walmart to get the same gun except chambered in 30-06 because that ammo is way more available. So, you know, it's a Remington 770 model chambered in 30-06. So I went to Walmart to go pick one up, and last year I walked in there, you know, did their little computer thing or whatever, and then, you know, 6 minutes later I was walking out of the store with a rifle. This time I go in there and he comes up, oh, it came up with a delayed response. It could be anywhere from 1 hour to 3 days. So the federal law says if they don't get back to the FFL dealer or whoever is selling the gun within 3 days, that they can go ahead and sell it without the background check passing. But Walmart has a store policy that says if it doesn't pass, you know, even if it doesn't deny, if they just ignore and don't get back to them, they won't release the gun until they get a green light. So I'm kind of lingering around in limbo on that, and then I'll probably make a couple videos, you know, sighting it in and stuff like that. So anyway, let me stop jibber jabber and I'll go ahead and start cutting these logs up. Well, my steel dealer was kind enough to give me a full tank of gas and oil with it, I guess. And then also I conned them out of another free hat. So let's see how this thing does. Now my brother-in-law wants the wood cut at 18 inches. He has an outdoor furnace and he can fit like 24-inch, you know, mini logs in that thing, but he wants them cut at 18 inches. I'm used to cutting 16-inch firewood. So I'm probably going to have to use my bar as a measure until I get used to cutting the 18-inch. Ah, so there's half choke. It's a heck of a lot lighter, I'll tell you that. thing cuts at a pretty good rate. I'm happy with this little saw. Seems to me like it was the right choice. I was looking at a Husqvarna 450, but and I was talking about it, or talking to my steel dealer about it. He's just a little local guy, and he's got a little shop, and he's the one I always deal with. And he was telling me that Poland owns Husqvarna, and that the new Huskies, unless they say XP on it, are pretty much a Walmart saw painted orange. Now, I went home and Googled it, and I did find information about Husqvarna and Poland being in the same, you know, sort of corporate structure or something. It's hard, I don't know, it's a confusing thing. But it seemed like Husqvarna owned Poland, not Poland owned Husqvarna. So I don't know exactly what the deal is, but, you know, if I wanted a Walmart saw, I would get one, I guess. But this, you know, call it brand loyalty or whatever you want. You know, it's got a 4-year warranty, and I personally know my steel dealer on a, you know, personal first name basis. So to me, that makes a lot of difference. Before you guys get too upset about my maul going into the ground, this maul is like 10 years less than old as me. So, and it's never been sharpened or anything. It's a beat up one. I'll probably fix it up a little bit, but it needs a new handle and everything, and for the cost of a new handle, you just go buy a new one. So, and in case you're wondering, this is an 8-pound. And yes, John, I probably should be using the tire method. I don't have a tire currently. See, that's what I like about the 8-pound maul. You know, a lot of people will say with the heavier maul that you don't have to swing it as hard. But But I swing it just as hard as anything else, and then with the added weight, it just busts them open. Alright, so this one's got a knot in it. So I'll take it and put the knot at one side. Well, actually, I'll take it kind of catty-cornered just to the side of the knot, and then when I quarter it, the knot will just be in one part. Did I miss one? Yeah. Now see, that knot is just in one little quarter there now. I personally would rather cut big logs and then split them up like that. They stack better, they burn better, and it's just more fun. You know. But these little round ones, say something like this right here. Let me make sure you can see. Something like this right here is maybe 3.5 inches through. Now, hopefully you can see how tight that ring pattern is. This is limb wood. This came out of a limb. And this is where you'll get your highest BTUs out of wood. White oak is one of the best woods you can burn, one of the highest BTUs. It's like 29 something or another, I don't remember, but it's like number 2. It's the second best. So, and you get this limb wood, and it's even that much better. It's so tightly bound, you get a lot of BTUs out of the limbs. So if you're worried about efficiency, split up wood like this is not the way to go. For efficiency, you want limb wood. Obviously, you wouldn't want to waste that, but you know, just speaking in terms of pure efficiency, that the limbs is where it's at.